1943. A South African lawyer named Nelson Mandela joined the African National Congress Party. His goal is to anti-apartheid in his country. 1956. Mandela gets arrested for treason. Then, in 1961, he gets released, only to be arrested again 1 year later. And this time, sentenced for life imprisonment. The next 27 years he stays in prison, where he dies eventually at the age of 43. Alright, let's rewind a bit, because the story I just told you isn't completely true. Yes, Mandela did go to prison twice, with his last sentence being a lifetime one, but he never died in prison. In the year 1990 he was released. Then, in 1994, he would be elected as the first black president of South Africa. Then, in 2013, he died at the age of 95. So, just to be clear, the second version of the story is the correct one, but a lot of people remember the first story to be the correct one. How is this possible? Well, we call this a false collective memory, and there are more examples of this happening. Here we have Monopoly's Mr. Moneybags, but we've changed him a bit, because the real Mr. Moneybags doesn't have a monocle. Strange, right? How do you remember Mr. Moneybags? Let us know in the comments. Have you ever watched the Star Wars films? Then you know that C-3PO is fully gold, right? Well, no. His right leg is actually silver. And for our American audience, you will probably remember the child's books and show The Berenstain Bears.
Somewhere deep in bear country lives the Berenstain Bear family.
A lot of people remember the show as the Berenstain Bears. Well, it's actually the Berenstain Bears. Why many people remember Steen instead of Stain is most likely due to the fact that Steen is a lot more common in surnames than Stain. So how could this happen? Has the time traveler moved a stone and changed the timeline? Could be the case. Way more likely is that we all just remember it wrong, or don't remember it at all, and rely on the first thing we think we remember.
It's your time traveler here. Remember to subscribe.
For example, if somebody asks you, do you remember the Monopoly character? But you don't have a distinctive memory of the character, then you're very easily influenced by other people. So if your friend says, wait, didn't that guy have a monocle? Then it's very likely that you think you remember a monocle as well. But how come that in some examples, thousands of people have the same false memory? That's most likely due to the fact that we mix up news articles and characters. In the case of Mr. Moneybags, many people unconsciously mistake him with Mr. Peanut, who indeed has a monocle. We did make a joke before about a time traveler, but there actually is a large group of people who do believe in the changing of timelines. Maybe even the existence of the multiverse. These people believe that at some point in time you change from one universe to another and that the false memory you have remains from your original universe. Although a parallel universe might be possible to exist in some way, it's highly unlikely that you can change between them without noticing a single thing. Except for a false memory once in a while. But there are some weird examples that are a little harder to explain. You know the Ford logo, right? Well, this is not the real Ford logo. This is. As you can see, the real Ford logo has a curl at the F. But if we take a look at this photograph from 1993 at a garage advertisement, we see the logo from Ford without the curl. In the same image, a little more to the right, we see the same logo with the curl. Strange, right? The most likely reason for this is that people mistake the Ford logo with Henry Ford's signature. While the Ford logo has a curl, Henry's signature does not. Human memory is something very weird. Sometimes you can remember something from 10 years ago very vividly, but you can't remember what you ate for dinner 2 days ago. The older a memory is, the higher the chance that it gets corrupted in some way. Maybe you remember a specific day a lot nicer than it actually was. Nostalgia is a good example of this. Have you ever seen or experienced the Mandela Effect? Let me know down in the comments. Do you have any idea for a new video? Also let us know. And if you like this video, do like it, subscribe and follow us on Instagram. Oh, and if you want to know our sources, it's down below in the description and leads to our website. There you can find it all.